your business to new insane revenue levels doesn't have to be overwhelming. It's all about the right strategy, team, efficiencies, and confidence. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Evolution podcast. With over 1 million downloads, it's the go-to business podcast dedicated to business owners who want to evolve out of operating in the day-to-day and make their dreams come true. I'm your host, Annette Walter, and I'm so happy you are here. As a former banker, I have now been an entrepreneur for over 15 years and have started, grown, acquired, and sold over 20 multi-million-dollar companies to date. Together, you and I will strengthen your existing business, build your dream team and process, grow your wealth and legacy, all while surrounding you with a community of rockstar entrepreneurs just like yourself. Are you ready to evolve? Let's get started. Welcome to this week's episode. I am so happy you are here. Our guest today is Linnita Hosten, and wow, this interview is incredible. Linnita radiates kindness and knowledge, and I love her story, and I know that you're going to love it as well. She is the founder and student success strategist of Excellence Brainery. And I asked her about the name because, quite frankly, in the beginning, I get a little jumbled up introducing her. So I think you'll get a little bit of a giggle out of that. But she is an award-winning author, national speaker, and student success strategist. This is a market that is so underserved, and she is giving students the tools before they even go into college to make a four-year map and truly find success on the other side of graduating. You are going to love her story and how her company is growing and evolving. And I'm just so happy you are here. We have such an amazing community of business owners like yourself that are showing up for one another, that are holding each other accountable, that are sharing stories like Linnita shares her story today. And that's what it's about. This journey is ever changing and the world is ever changing. And if we can help one another and be by one another's side and continue to build a community of rockstar entrepreneurs like yourself, that is what it is about. We all need each other's help. We need each other's support. We need each other's high fives. So I'm happy you're here. Be proud of yourself that you're here. If all of this is resonating with you, make sure you reach out and check out the show notes. Schedule some time with me so we can learn more about your business and set your plan for the upcoming year and make your map so that you feel like you know exactly where you are going in your business. You're making the right decisions at the right time with the right resources. I want to talk to you. I want to learn more about you. I'd love to see you in one of our Entrepreneur Evolution Empowerment coaching groups. Those are beyond amazing. If you haven't checked those out, make sure you reach out. So for now, let's go ahead and get started with Linnita. Enjoy today's episode. Keep evolving, entrepreneur. I am so proud of you. Welcome, Linnita. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Super excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
I am really happy you are here. Congratulations on your most recent award with the Daily Record. Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Super excited. I was not expecting that.
Oh, that's wonderful. Today we are joined by Linnita Hosten. She is the Excellence Brainery Strategist, CEO. I mean, so many amazing titles here. I love it. And founder of Student Success Strategist of Excellence Brainery, right? Explain to me a little bit more. I'm mumbling all of these words here.
You know, people always ask me, what is an excellence brainery? It's a word that I made up, and my trademark attorney absolutely loves it.
I love it too.
But essentially, excellence is my personal motto. If you follow me on social media, I always say excellence in everything, every time. That's the goal when I'm interacting with persons, when I'm serving clients, pitching for bids, that sort of thing. And so Excellence Brainery is like the school of excellence. And I've always seen myself as an educator. Teaching is one of my highest spiritual gifts. And so I merged my personal motto and then my leading gift and talent of teaching together. So the School of Excellence is Excellence Brainery. No one has ever asked me that, by the way. But
I love
essentially,
it.
Excellence Brainery provides education and career planning services for high school students, particularly Black students. And we just say, well, what is that? Coaching services, workshops, workshop series. We have a host of educational materials, workbooks, that sort of thing.
This is such a need and so wonderful. And I want to talk more about the work you do, but first let's rewind. Okay. You just gave us a little bit about you and the business and how it came about, but tell us a little bit more. How did this really start? What was the spark and the founding of the company?
Yeah, I think it's my own story. You know, I was, my parents were what you call blue collar workers. Blue collar workers, they worked every weekend, every holiday. Thanksgiving, we would like, my mom would cook really early and then we would drop off her meal at work. Same for Christmas, we'd open gifts really early or super late. And so work was like, it led our lifestyle. And my parents would always say, if we can just get you into college, you won't have to work this hard. That was their rationale. So being able to send me off to college was a big deal. And my mom invested in a lot of help. She hired this man, his name was Dr. E. And he was essentially supposed to be, well, not supposed to be, I don't use that language. He essentially helped me with everything college access. And we weren't low income. We were middle class, but working class.
Right.
Meaning if we stopped working, we'd be low class. And so my mom had a little disposable income that she reinvested in her children.
Great.
So Dr. E, I met with him for about 2 months and he helped me with everything into college. And then I never heard from him again. He doesn't even know that I do the work that I'm sure he'd find it to be very heartwarming that we kind of share the same work, but I never heard from him after I got accepted, when I had an exceptional college experience, which I did when I negotiated my very first salary, when I started traveling the country. Never heard from this man. I tried to look him up on Facebook, but he wasn't there. And I said to myself, you know, once I got into this work, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be the person that the parent pays and the kid never hears from again. Because to me, that's not hard work. And essentially, Excellence Brainery was formed so that we could handhold the hands of students who need the support, who parents come in and say, hey, we want you to be the extension cord to our existing power source. So we take our staff, partner with parents, and we intend to hold the hand of the support of the student through the completion of high school and into their educational pathway. And so that's how I got started, because I was the student who got a lot of help.
Right.
And I wish that someone would have been there for the entirety of the journey.
So how does it start? How did you start? How did you know you had a business here with this spark, this idea?
Yeah. When I graduated college, I went to Towson University in Baltimore. My background was in communications. And I was hired, well, when I negotiated my salary, and that was solely based on my leadership experience on my campus.
Right.
I had a very robust resume at 21. And I negotiated my salary. I chose to go to the University System of Maryland, which is the public school system for all of the Maryland state colleges. And they hired me to, they had this data that said that if you put information in front of sixth graders about college, about what education does and the benefits of it, they'd be more likely to attend and graduate. They just had data. And they said, we need someone to go out and like give this message across the state. So they hired me to transform words into programming, keynotes, giveaways, merchandise. Literally, I was 21 going on 22 when I accepted the job. That's actually a big task when I think about it. And we had a team of 2.
That's right.
And
that's like a business right there.
It is. And so yeah, I had the privilege of traveling across the state of Maryland. I've been to every middle school. Wow. And Maryland has the second largest school system in the US, by the way. And so, yeah, that put me in front of a lot of people. So I'd be doing keynotes and workshops on college prep. And this guy approached me at the end of one of my workshops I was doing. And he said, do you speak to, like, do you have your own message? And I was like, no, I don't. And he was like, well, let's do lunch this week. I'd love to like learn more about you. And I'm thinking, you know, he was a good looking guy and I don't feel like I'm bad looking. So I'm thinking like maybe this was, you know, a little passive way of, but when I came to lunch, he came with a notebook and he said, you know, I want to do a student leadership tour. I see that in you. I see you have a passion for youth. I see you have the competency to teach. It's infectious. Like, how do you feel about being a professional speaker? I'm like, I'm 22. Professional what? Who's listening to me speak? I laughed and he said, you know, I think you're being And he said, I think you're undervaluing your natural abilities. Just
Wow.
try it. Do you need money? I don't know this man. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know him. He said, do you
Right.
need money? I said, well, if you're giving it away, I won't turn it away. He said, well, how about this? I'll get you some headshots. Your homework is to get a website and just like refine what your message will be. That's
Wow.
literally how I got started. Our
Wow.
first tour was at the Prince William Leadership Tour and Leadership Counties Conference. It was in 2014, and I started speaking. That's what started.
Wow.
That's how it started. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And so now what does the company look like? You mentioned your team and, sourcing students with the right team member. So paint that picture for us structurally.
Yeah. So it started off as me being a solo practitioner.
Mm-hmm.
So me traveling to speak, and that was local.
Mm-hmm.
And then speaking turned into, I'm giving you a very organic transformation. Speaking turned into workshops as my audience grew. I
Mm-hmm.
applied for a speakers agency that took me from local to national very quickly.
Right.
Then I wrote a book. And now I'm still solo practitioner at this point.
Right.
I wrote a book, and that kind of increased my authority
Right.
and maybe compounded my audience from not just schools, but organizations, like really big groups like the United States Army, Jack and Jill, that sort of thing.
Right.
And then being asked to create curriculum for organizations, like instead of you just coming in giving us 60, 90 minutes of what could be an incredible talk, we want to take that talk and turn it into like 4 months of programming for a transformation purpose. So being asked to write curriculum, that is when I had to onboard additional team members, curriculum
Wow.
writers, copywriters, and then student coaches.
Awesome.
And so as I was being asked to create those things, I also created my own. I was doing them kind of like concurrently.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I scaled back from just being a speaker to then a coach. So then I created the Dream Career Academy that turned into the Excellence Academy, which is like my 16-week coaching program. And then as organizations have requests, sometimes they're custom, sometimes they'll say, hey, can your team come in and facilitate your existing curriculum? Or
Right.
can you create a custom curriculum for us? So that's kind of like the organic flow.
That's great. And that's such a good illustration. I know that that's going to strike a chord with a lot of people out there because, you need to evolve, obviously my favorite word, and continue to listen to the market and to gain that feedback of what they want. And sometimes even seeing what they need and giving them what they think they need, but really what they really need. Right. Right.
Yeah.
So this is such an important topic. Tell us one of your most impactful stories with a student.
Yeah, my first student was my sister. We're 10 years apart. And my sister is naturally gifted in music. She was playing, someone taught her how to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star at 3, and she memorized the keys. So my mom enrolled her into private lessons. She's been classically trained since she was 5.
Wow.
And when she was 16, she said, I want to teach piano. She was privately trained. I want to be like my music teacher. He has like 20 clients. That's all he does. He creates recitals, sponsorships, that sort of thing. She said, I want to duplicate that, and I want to be a music professor. Now, I shared with her, this is before I understood that I was really interested in coaching high school students to actually identify and then go after, like create a plan, a very strategic plan to get what they desire.
Yes.
I didn't realize I was doing this at the time, but I'll fast forward. So at 16, she said, I want to do that. I'm like, okay, I want to be honest with you. This is not an easy path. You will often hear things like, that won't make any money. Who would buy that service? You'd be better off studying something in STEM. You're going to hear all of those things. So preparing yourself mentally to be not receptive, but to be okay getting that. And then your college experience matters. Every decision that you make, every internship, every job, every work experience should be compounding, making you competitive and viable. So we need a plan. She's the first person I did this with. So we planned out her college. Wow. Freshman year, sophomore year, junior. You need this kind of internship. You need these many hours in the classroom. You need to work with this particular demographic of students. You need to learn these instruments. You need to have these contacts before you graduate. And so that when you graduate, you can like seamlessly walk into your ideal career path, not figure it out, not fly in the wind. And so we created a 4-year plan. And one of the things that I practice is if you see something repeatedly over time, it starts to like digest into your mind. You start to believe it, your belief increases, your confidence increases. So her plan was on her wall in her dorm room. Well, fast forward, she graduated this fall. She studied music. She did everything on the plan. She didn't do one thing that was on the plan she did not do. And that was go to Michigan to do a band camp as the lead pianist. She didn't do that. She was afraid to travel and be alone. But everything else she did. She graduated in May. In June, she had 3 private clients in piano. She's only 21. Well, she's 22 now.
Wow.
She is my first success story. And I tell her all the time, like, you know, you did the work. I didn't do any of that work. You did it. Now her thing is, I want to make more money. How do I do that? So you get so good that you can increase your price because people see the value in you. Right. So the clients that you have, make it transformational, be distinctive, and then you increase your price. That's how you make more money. So my sister's my first success story.
I love it. I love it. That, you know, and it's children, kids, teens, whatever you want to call it, entering students into college, you know, do you feel like most people have a plan going in or most don't? What would you say that the percentage is there?
0.
Right.
Most people don't have a plan. No one's thinking about that. And here's the thing. This service is way ahead of its time because we're still in the narrative. Please go to college and graduate. Go to college so that you can get the job. Well, now that we have an increase of college graduates, the competition pool has increased. So the only way to be distinguished or to be different is to have a level of competency. That's an ability to do something so proficiently well that you could surpass just the eligibility requirement of having the degree. And that's even a master's degree. So, and I have both. And I've seen the value of not just being credentialed, but being competent. That's how you be competitive and you have the ability to like name your fee. So no, most students don't have a plan. Their plan is to go make their parents proud, pass their classes, and have a good time and discover themselves. I ask the question all the time, what's your plan? What's your plan? What I just told you is what they typically say.
Right.
So not a strategic plan, no. And our kids haven't been taught to think that way. All of the paths were already carved for them. They just had to graduate and finish, graduate and finish. So they do college the same way, graduate and finish, not thinking strategically. So this service is a way ahead of its time. And I often have to educate parents why it's a necessity.
Well, it's way ahead of its time, but it's so necessary.
Yeah.
It's so necessary. I've had some of my clients that I coach, you know, some business owners saying, oh, if you could only do this for my daughter before they went into college, they knew what they did, right? Or if you could only, you know, because I use one of my assessments, or like if she only knew this about herself going into college, right? How much different, how much more they would get out of college and university, right? So I'm just so proud of you. And I love learning this about you and your company. So what keeps you going? How do you stay focused, driven? What keeps you going, right? From an entrepreneurial standpoint.
Yeah, those text messages from clients that we've served saying, hey, I got this, I got the internship, I got into the school of dentistry wants me, like I'm finished.
Yes.
Like them meeting those milestones that were only concept. They were playing like on paper.
Right.
And then seeing them do, that's like fuel. On a low day, we get an email saying, hey, this happened.
Right.
Because they do kind of like keep us involved. Like, hey, I was able to do this. That's like, it lights a little fire in me. I got a little fire pit going.
Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Everybody needs that little mini plan. Right. And I love how you have really focused on a niche here that they just so desperately needing. So what does the future look like? What does this look like for you and the company and the growth?
You know, I always battle with, would you sell this concept? Would you sell it so that more people could have access to it? I battle with that. I don't know, but I definitely do see it. I would love to see it like integrated into a school system. For this to be like, it's like a graduation requirement for you to kind of think strategically about what's next. Because ultimately that's no one's no one else should be invested in that more than you. So it's almost like the student has to have ownership of that, but we can't have ownership of something we don't know we should be thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to see it integrated, and not just like what college do you want to go to and what you want to major in, but what is your unique proposition? What distinctive ability do you bring to the world? How can that be compounded through service? And then how can you apply that and get educated so that you can be credentialed and be a valuable component to today's world? If we can get our kids thinking about that, I'd love to see it in the school system for sure.
Right. That's so good. So do you want to tell us about the book before we wrap up?
Sure. So our latest project is called The Pursuit of Black Excellence for Teens. I actually just went on pre-sale yesterday.
Great. Congratulations. That's huge.
Thank you. This is our third resource material, a collective team of educators and curriculum writers. We actually sat down and thought about what are the ways we wanted to edify or bring light to or enlightenment to particularly Black teens. And the reason why this resource was created, because what I found in the Excellence Academy, and that's in the very beginning of our 16 weeks together, students really struggle with answering the question, what do I want to do? What am I good at? Like, I don't know what I'm good at. I don't know like what I do well. They really struggle, and it makes them feel some kind of way. I can feel it. Like, it doesn't feel, they feel like they're missing something, or maybe I don't have anything to offer. So the Pursuit of Black Excellence for Teens is a lot about self-discovery, like a lot of questions, assessments, and examples and tools to help kind of like draw that out of them so that they can answer the question when someone asks them, what do you do well? What do you enjoy? How do you want to impact the world? And so it was created to solve that particular problem so that we can have more advanced conversations about, okay, now that you're clear about your identity, let's talk about how you're going to be a great asset to today's community.
I love it.
So thank you for asking.
Absolutely. So tell us as we wrap up here, what is your personal mantra? What's your personal go-to? Maybe your motto that, you tell yourself when you need to keep going or snap out of something, or just to, motivate yourself. Do you have any phrase or anything that you tell yourself?
Yeah, I have my excellence creed. I'll give it to you. It's really brief. I am excellence. My mind produces excellence. My visions are of excellence. My unique superpower is nothing short of excellence. I amplify a voice of excellence. My contribution to this world will be of excellence. I am capable of excellence. I have an inner power of excellence. I have a genius that solely produces excellence. I'm committed to developing that genius with excellence. I will achieve my highest goals and desires with excellence. I only represent excellence. Excellence in everything, every time. That's my excellence creed. I actually say it, that's like my intro whenever I have a speaking engagement, but it's also something that I also recite to myself, like you said, when I like need a boost.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so good. Oh, that's so good. You are just making wonderful things happen. You're such a beautiful person. Like,
thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Congrats again on the recognition from the Daily Record. Where can we find you? Where can we support you? Where can we promote you?
Yes, I'm on everything is Linnita Hosten, Linnita Hosten on all social media networks. I'm most active on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, but I'm also on YouTube. LinnitaHosten.com if you want to check out our work as a team. ExcellenceBrainery.com, also Excellence Brainery on Instagram, as well as Facebook. And if you want to check out the book, thepursuitforteens.com, that's where you can find it.
So good. So good. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time. So
You're
great.
welcome.
Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Wow. What an episode. Did you learn something new? I hope so. I am so happy you were able to be here with us today. I'd love to hear from you. Leave me a review and I will be sure to read it and respond to you. Also, if you'd like to email me, my email address is yourock@iEvolveConsulting.com. Hit subscribe, and every Tuesday you'll get notification when the next episode drops. We really have some amazing interviews and tips in the future. Anything you need, I'm here for you. I want you to keep your momentum. I want to help you stay accountable. I want you to stay inspired. I want you to evolve. So please let me know what you need, and I'd love to hear from you. Take care until next time.